special guest in the house. Mr. Arnold himself over here, huh?
How's it going?
We're going to do some carb work today.
Yes.
All right, so stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys a clip of when I was at the show. All right, I showed it in my past video, but just in case you didn't see it, I'm going to show you that clip where Arnold and I spoke, when Arnold mentioned this new WALBRO part number here. All right, we're going to be doing it today together, so stay tuned. We're going to have ourselves a little Zat coffee. So while we enjoy our coffee, you guys take a look at that clip. Remember, if it floats, it's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
Oh,
Go ahead. It's no joke.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about WALBRO.
Nice.
WALBRO carbs, a little tuning, a little stuff that they're doing. So here's their new WALBRO spiral diaphragm.
Nice.
It's the first time that they come out with patent pending items.
Can I hold it in my hand? Can I hold it?
You can stroke it. You can do whatever you want with it.
Look at the Zat.
So let's open it up. Let's take a look at it, John. Let's see what's inside.
Let's take a look.
So what is it? Okay, so here's the spiral diaphragm.
Yeah.
They made the spiral diaphragm because there's a lot of challenges with supporting a diaphragm pliability with ethanol-based gasolines.
Right.
Right. So it's hard to find a gas out there that doesn't contain ethanol.
Correct.
A lot of them are somehow infused.
Right.
So this was invented with a mylar gasket on both sides that's impervious to ethanol, methanol, and in the middle it has a stainless steel metal diaphragm. What does it do? So, you know, when you look at your diaphragm, the pliability loses after some time, after some races. However, with this one, it's not going to.
Nice.
That's going to remain with complete flexibility. And what does it do? It gives you an incredible response time. So if you're running this on your car, you're going to see.
Even if you're not worried about the ethanol issue, if you just want it.
You should put it on.
Exactly.
In my opinion, you should. It's a good safety precaution. You don't have to.
I think it should be on everything.
I think so. So here's the deal with this. It's a little finicky in how you set it up. We'll have to do another video one day at John's place where we do set this up because you have to use this gauge and you have to make sure that it's gapped by using the spiral on the gauge. You have to also change the lever arm also when you're doing that, and then make sure that the distance between
I can't wait to do this. To be continued on this, guys.
I'm going to give this to John. He's going to take it home with him, and then we're going to go ahead and hook up and make sure that
we will wait for you, brother. We can't wait. Stay tuned for this.
When John's going to take this home too, but make sure when you guys are cleaning out your carburetor, you should do it probably twice a year if you're running heavy.
Okay.
Use a WALBRO carb cleaner. Don't use brake cleaner and all this nice stuff. It damages the gaskets.
Right.
So it's very harsh. Use a WALBRO cleaner.
Super nice.
So you go ahead and take care of that. And then
look at this, guys.
All right. So then we'll talk a little bit about that.
Nice.
I'll also give John some stickers, but John and I will hook up and we're gonna do one of his carburetors at the house.
Definitely.
With the new spiral diaphragm, and we'll do some before and after videos too.
Even an 813 with the accelerated pump can work with that.
Very nice.
All right, let me stop filming. All right, so this is 771 carb that I was gonna run with my SCZ engine. So you like that carb?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great carb for 29, 30, 31.8, up to a 32. It's a wonderful carb. There were a couple of folks that modified that carb. They went ahead and poured it out a bit, changed the pop off, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So.
And you say we can do that. That's no problem using this setup on 871, 813 accelerator pump, and a 990,
absolutely,
or a
1107,
1107, which we have as well, but we're gonna probably modify.
It works on all of them.
Okay, great.
Same layout. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the top, right? So there's 4 screws that's on there. We're gonna pull them off. Yeah, I know. I like to wear gloves. Long story. I play around with a lot of chemicals, and I prefer to wear gloves so I don't get any type of contamination.
Hey, it's all about working like a gentleman, kid. You know what I'm saying?
So a couple things with.
I like these tools, man. I mean, I used to have these.
Aeromax.
They feel so nice in the hands.
Yeah,
man.
they do. They're lightweight. Yeah. And, they feel like you said. I think it's important that you get yourself a good set of tools because you feel good when you're working on your cars and when you're working on whatever. You like to get down there and play around with your tools.
Sure.
So get some good set of tools. All right, so you're going to pull off the top.
Right.
Once you pull off the top, carefully remove this part here as well, the plastic part. And yours, it's a little bit tough, so we're just gonna pry it off very slowly. Don't go crazy with it. And there's your diaphragm.
Yeah, yeah.
There's your rubber diaphragm that's there, and there's a gasket right below it. So we're gonna go ahead and take that off.
You want a little flathead?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take this off, and then we're gonna look at that diaphragm kit there from WALBRO, that spiral one.
We'll lay this out.
Yeah. So if you can, save all this because I'm sure you're going to need it for something else at some point. I like to keep everything.
Or a buddy or a friend of you.
So go careful with it when you're taking it off so you don't damage it, and then just put it aside in your spare part box. So look at that.
Yeah.
So that's all set there. You just want to go ahead and put that aside. So what's in this kit? You have a gauge that you're going to use. So that gauge says spiral on there. And there's a little bit of a divot right there. You see that cutaway?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's your lever. So we're going to change the lever, and we're going to use this gauge here. When we put it on top, like this is going to be a tough one. You got to get the angle. So when that lever, that arm has to touch the top of there, and then we know that it's set right. So you can see that? Once you put that flat on top of that carb, that part there that says spiral.
See that, guys, over there?
You see how that arm doesn't touch it now?
This is going to be your gauge, and that you don't want the lever. It has to be flush with that. Is that it?
That's it.
Gotcha.
So we're going to change that lever now.
See this lever here, guys?
Exactly.
We're going to replace this lever and use the one that comes with the kit. And once this is installed, you want that to be flush with that tool there, that gap tool.
So when you're taking this apart, you have this Phillips screw that's here that holds the lever in place. So this is the old lever. You're going to pull that out. Then once you pull the lever, this part here holds the plunger. And then that little divot that's under here sets the spring in place. So here's a stock spring. And down the road, I think John and I would do a little, we're going to talk a little bit about this spring here, that metering spring, and that how the flow of gas is determined by that spring.
Some guys like to run 15-pound springs on certain carbs, on certain builds, and everybody has their own.
Stock is typically in the mid-30s PSI. As John said, a lot of guys are anywhere from 12 to 18 PSI.
Right.
And they like to do this. But we'll work on that another time with a pump and do all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out this. You can either pull it out or you can leave it in. Once you've done this a couple times, you'll get accustomed to doing it. But for the first few times that you're taking carbs apart, it's going to be a little tough. So it's entirely up to you. We're going to take out the part from here from the old plunger, and we're going to swap it out for the new one. And then if you compare the two, you can see that the new compared to the old, the new one is elevated. You see that?
Yes.
See that part there that goes up?
That goes up, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this in the bottom here is where the spring sits.
This one is happy to see me.
So here's
happy to see us.
Here's a tough part. Here's where it's going to get a little tricky. Again, for the first few times that you're doing this, it's not going to be so easy. I'm going to take out the spring. Some guys use magnetic.
Right. If you want one, I have one over there.
You can if you want to. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. We're going to put this back in here, and then we're going to go ahead and take the plunger, and we're going to try to get this onto the plunger here, and then also put this shaft back in. So see, once you've done it a few times, it's not that hard, but for the first couple times that you're going to do it, it's going to be a little tough.
Right.
So take your time, practice with it. Be careful not to, see that? It fell right into place.
Yeah.
So you see that? Look at the plunger where it's sitting.
Yeah.
It's sitting right in the space, so when this moves up and down, that plunger comes up and down, and that's your fuel flow. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten up this screw back. Right? I'm going to tighten that up, and then I'm going to lift up this lever, and I'm going to get that spring back under here. I'm going to have to loosen up a little bit more because it doesn't come up enough.
I usually put it together with the spring.
Yeah,
but
you can, and that's how I do it.
But sometimes you could take 2 hours to look for it.
Yeah.
To fly somewhere.
It's a very, very tough situation. Sometimes you also need, we have a forceps here that we're going to use, right? It's a long one, so you could use this for other things too. Not just for this, for other things.
Yeah.
That's up to you though. So here comes the fun part. I'm like John. I like to leave the spring in there. You see what's happening?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It has static electricity on it, so it doesn't want to go back in.
Can't make this up.
So look at that. Yeah. So, but we'll get it back in there once it's running away. It doesn't want to go in.
Let me get the magnet. Man.
Yeah, get the magnet. We'll put it back in that one.
Oh, you know what? I got a small one. Here we go. I got a little baby one here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
All right, so there we go.
Nice.
We got it back in there.
I got some tweezers if you need to.
We're gonna push that down, and this here has to go right into that lever that we saw the arm, and there's a little bit of a just kind of a little notch.
Right.
That spring has to go inside there. Once it goes inside there and it's sitting properly, then we could tighten that back down.
At the same time.
It's a little tough to get to. You know, you have to do it a couple times, and you'll get it. Then look and make sure that that spring is
completely in that nipple there.
So let's look at it. You can see it a little carefully. You can see that it's sitting right inside that little divot, and it's going back and forth. Look at it. When I push down, look at what happens to the lever, the plunger in the back.
Automatically pushes back down.
You see that? So that's good there. So we're gonna make sure this is tight. Don't go crazy with tightening too much. And now look at that. See how that's now up compared to the old one? We're gonna take out our gauge.
Sure.
And let's look at it. Put our gauge flush. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
What do you say, John? Zah.
Zah. Zah.
So look at that.
Look at that.
Okay, so what if it wasn't? What if it wasn't? What do you do?
Oh, what if it wasn't level with this tool here?
So, a lot of people cut springs. I'm not a fan of it because if you cut it the wrong way, it won't sit properly. So what you want to do is carefully, if it's not sitting properly, you want to pull that spring apart a little bit.
Right.
And put it in there. If it's sitting too high, press it a little bit, compress it, and put it back.
Okay.
It's only going to be off by a very little fraction, not by much.
And this one was on the T, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
That's perfect. So we came out really good. So that we're done. We replaced the arm.
Nice.
It's done. So now what we do is we take this part.
Now step 2.
See the top? It says top on it. This is important. Why you have to follow this direction, because that metering, that new spiral diaphragm, it's a spring in there, right? It's a stainless steel spring, but it has a mylar plastic gasket on the top and the bottom that doesn't enable fuel and any type of alcohol inside any fuel to damage the spring, right?
Wow.
So that's the trick. The trick is that these gaskets is really what's doing. Now, if you get your pump gas into your motor, many places contain anywhere from 10 to 20% ethanol. Why is ethanol bad? Well, listen, ethanol makes power, and some people use straight ethanol, but ethanol absorbs water.
Moisture.
And when it does that from the air, that will cause some type of rust in your motor.
Yeah.
So if you do use ethanol, you want to purge your system out. You know, with a regular gas, afterwards it has 0 ethanol inside. Ethanol also damages diaphragms. That rubber diaphragm, done.
It'll turn like a stick.
Yeah. So it will.
It'll feel like somebody a topless dancer with some fake ones. You know.
Yeah,
it'll be like,
you know. The same thing with your fuel lines.
Yeah. Fuel lines will turn to sticks.
Yeah. Now those are the Midwest.
Yeah.
You know, up here in New York, where John and I are at, we're 10% max ethanol. Out in the Midwest, it's up to 20%.
Oh my God, you're kidding me! I had no idea.
Seriously?
Oh, bro, that's terrible, dude. How the hell the farmers are gonna do it? Like with the.
So they got to be careful. They got to be very careful with pump gas.
If that ever happens here, man, forget it, bro. I'm gonna be like, well, if we can run this now, but still with this, I would definitely have to get my own fuel, man. That's terrible, man.
Yep.
In Europe, I have subscribers from Portugal, from Italy, from France, from Spain, and they all have beautiful fuel up there, man. Nice and red and
good stuff.
Yeah, they got the nice 98 octane over there. So.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. See, I removed that paper clip, right? I put that back in there, and then I'm gonna start putting this together. I'm gonna put the top.
So you put that on there, the top facing top.
Yep. And I'm gonna put
remove the paper clip, and now you're putting this.
Yep. I'm gonna put everything back together with these screws, and then once I start the screws, I'm just gonna pull out that the rest of the paper.
Gotcha.
And that's it. Now everything's in place. There's nothing to worry about with it falling out of place. And that's it. You're pretty much done. So here it's a little bit tricky. You just want to make sure that you keep everything together
lined up, sure.
As much as possible, because you got to get that screw in there. Let's get that together.
Sometimes I even put a sponge on the diaphragm hole. Just to filter it out.
Yeah, I've seen actually some folks make they even make a filter, right?
Yeah. Instead of buying the Team Chase thing, or if the Team Chase thing is out, and not in stock or whatever, if you don't want to carry that. Most of the time, I'm running intake manifolds on piston ports that have that already in, like the RB Innovations. But on any other carburetor, I'll put a piece of styrofoam in there just to filter out that.
Let's line that up. Let's get the screws in there. We're gonna thread about 2 turns over. Don't go too tight because we have to pull out that paper.
Gotcha.
So
just snug them.
Yep.
Not too tight, obviously, because then you won't be able to pull on that tape there, that special paper.
So let's get the last one in there. We're just gonna get it lined up. Okay. And now what you want to do is you're gonna just pull this completely out.
Zeneca Fazan.
That's it.
What?
And then we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up, and she's all set to go.
Beauty,
so
bro.
You have now a spiral diaphragm that's in there. No worries at all with it deteriorating with any type of fuel.
Beauty.
That's all there.
So, you guys, in the future, when I start up and run my SCZ engine, my carburetor will be ready for it. I was going to put an N90 on it, but I'm going to run this baby here. Very nice, man. And this could be done on 813 accelerated pumps, 990s, 1107s. That's awesome, man.
So we'll give you a couple of tips on carburetor tuning and cleaning.
What if somebody has to now remove it and they don't have this on it? Like, how do you install that without this?
You can. What you have to do is you have to be careful with putting them and lining them up inside. These they have little cutouts.
And always remember to face top.
That's right. So you're gonna see it at the top side, but you just could line them up and you could put each section in also, if need be.
Okay.
But you're really not going to be taking this much apart.
Okay.
So you want to keep that in place.
And that's it. And then just stock up on plenty of these here. All right, I haven't given out the part number. The part number is WALBRO part number K3-WYTA. All right, spiral diaphragm.
What you're going to notice is you're going to see the response time.
Right.
When you hit that throttle, you're going to see a difference, because this is the reaction here is immediate as compared to the rubber.
Sure.
You have a little delay.
Man, I wish I would have had that last year. And now we got it this year.
Yep.
All right, so how about we do one more carb before we go?
Okay.
But let's have a union break, kid. When you come here, we have union break. So you guys know what that means, right?
I'm all for that.
Let's bust that sucker out.
Now, I don't know if that this is impervious to this. I'm not sure about that.
This is the best stabilizer you. This fixed the ethanol problems. Are you able to hold that bottle there?
Yeah, of course.
Let's see if we can pop it. You guys ready?
Oh.
Any questions?
Go right at it. You keep stock of that, huh?
Yeah, I do, bro. I think I have more cases of this than I do nitro fuel. Than Byron's 3011. All right, brother.
Good stuff to have.
Let's do to good times and good health.
Absolutely.
And to a great race new year.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Cheers.
saying? Cheers to everyone. Yep. And to WALBRO. Thank you, WALBRO, for coming out with good stuff, man. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it, man. All right? Stock up on this. You guys need to get this, man. I wish I had this already a while ago. And don't forget to shake it to activate it, kid.
Well, we're back from break, right?
Yeah, our break ended, so. What should we do now? Do you want to do 1107 or 990 now?
Anything you want. I'd love to. I don't know how your neighbors feel, but down the road we got to start one of these suckers up with this CARB.
Oh, yes.
You want to listen to it. You want to hear and just look at when John hits the trigger. You want to see that.
One day we got to do a before and after, right?
Yeah,
Is that it?
Perfect.
Maybe we could do. Maybe the Baja
What's the size
Q.
one?
This one's a 990.
Where's this motor going into?
I don't know yet. Maybe it could. I don't know. It may go back in my MTXL, or it may go on a drag Baja because it's a drag mod. But I mean, I have the Barcelona.
Good compression on this one.
Yeah, it's got a new piston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to move at all.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
lot
got-
of compression. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
But and then we have the 1107. But that 1107, I was gonna take it out. That's the Finley 34. I was gonna take it out and put a 990 here, but I think I'm gonna keep. Ian told me that he
I
put
agree with that.
he put this 1107 because
100% agree with it. The only thing I would do is take off the choke.
yeah.
So what I typically do is I pull the choke, and I would pull it from here to here, pull it all out. There's a ball and spring inside there.
Yeah.
You pull that out, and then put a set screw inside here, and put a set screw inside here.
Right.
Make sure it's completely flush to the pathway of the air. Put a little bit of red Loctite on there as well as you're putting the set screw in, and done. This is just going to cause a little bit of resistance and airflow, but I love this CARB, this 1107 on this particular motor.
Okay.
Either that or the Tilliston has always been my favorite
Really?
on this motor. Yeah.
Oh, we may have to try the Tilliston then.
Yep.
So I gotta do one of these on here.
You want to do it now? It's up
Yeah,
to
what
you.
the heck.
Whatever you want to do.
Unless-
Let's go ahead and pull it. We'll pull this
Oh, you
out.
know what? Maybe we could do a before and after with this one.
Okay.
I'll break it in. This is how.
Perfect.
We'll do a before and after with this one, and then might as well just do this one. So
Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to pull the top off here. So we're going to pull the top again.
I'm gonna go from a different angle. We're gonna go through here.
See how you have to be a little better. Okay. And this, what carb is this?
This is a 990.
Okay. And this was on your OBR.
Correct. I don't know if they changed the spring. Usually, that one may be a 15-pound spring,
So
unless he forgot. Every signature series, the only thing that they have with their modified 990s, they call it a modified, but it's just the spring change. Barcelona is actually a real modified 990. But this one here, we will see.
So pull the top off. We're going to go ahead and take off the gasket and the diaphragm. That's there very carefully.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's off.
Oh.
Put that aside. And we're going to open
That one
this.
still looks pretty good now. How'd it feel?
It felt really good.
Yeah, that's
So
Camp
what-
2.
We'll pull this off. That had a lot of pliability into it. You know, you ran this before. You could see there's no wear on there at all.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, this is the one I used to beat the shit out of my MTXL with.
great shape. Okay, as for the spring, yes, it was done.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah. So how can you tell?
Yeah, I see a little thinner, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So you see those? There's like 5 or 6 coils in the
Yeah,
bottom there.
yeah.
And they're not in the top.
Gotcha.
So they obviously modified it.
Yeah.
So that was all good.
Nice. Yeah, this is a must for their new signature series style.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this off and pull the lever.
All right.
And after we do that, we're gonna open up this. Let's open this up right now.
Okay, guys. So here, this is a fresh one that was opened here. This is what you get. Remember, top up. Don't forget about this, and it comes with these directions, guys. If you get this, just wanted to lay out these parts for you. Here's the diaphragm assembly here for you. All right, pretty nice.
So this is probably the most tricky part here is just getting this situated in here and then under. Look at that. See
So
how
get your arm.
Yep.
This is the old one. Get the new one that's happy to see you. That's a little bit higher. Arnold puts in the pin first. You just snug the screw.
Yep.
But do not tighten it.
Yep. I'm gonna put the screw in right now so
You
you.
want it a little loose so you can put your spring back on.
Exactly right. That's exactly what we're gonna do.
And then do not forget to test it.
Yep.
So we don't know this spring.
We don't know if
This
it's gonna
spring
be.
we may have to stretch it
Absolutely.
or squeeze it. We don't know yet.
So let's put this back together, then we'll check and see where it falls. Well, she doesn't want to go in, but we'll get her in. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna just don't go too tight on this because we have to lift it up.
Yeah.
And we have to put that spring, this spring, inside there. So.
Oh, here we go again. You want that magnet?
Yeah. There we go. So we'll grab that. And you want to flip this up. This will take some time practicing how to do this the right way. This is not something that's completely easy. And we're going to put that inside there.
See, just like that.
And we're going to try to get it right inside the proper hole.
Now make sure make sure it goes into the arm.
Yep.
That nipple there.
So we'll push it down the nipple. We'll get it right inside.
You want it centered with the hole.
Yeah. It's very important to do that. And then you're going to go ahead and start to tighten this down so it goes down now. Okay, let's look at it. Make sure. Yeah, look at that. It's perfectly in. As John said, you're going to pull your gauge. Here's the important part. You're going to put that flat and then go across. Uh-oh. So what was the difference now?
Just a contour.
Is it? That's right. The first one we had, it was perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And this one here, we got to come up. So as John was saying, we got to open that back up now. And
we got to take it back out.
We got to pull it a little bit. We're going to have to pull it a little bit and stretch it.
We got to make it happier to see us.
Right. It has to come up to that
You gotta, it's a must. You gotta have it level with this, all right? This is your gauge.
So what we'll do is we'll pull it out a little bit. We're gonna
trial and error.
Yeah. So the spring, you want to try to get into a position that you could just stretch it a little bit. So I just went ahead and stretched it. I locked it in place, and I put it back.
How'd you do that? I would have to take it out.
Yeah. So what I did is I put it on the side.
Yeah.
And I locked it in place, and then I pulled it a little bit.
Oh, wow.
To just get a little bit more tension on there. So let's try it again.
Huh.
Let's see where we're at. We're a little bit better. Look at that.
Yeah, a little bit better, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try it again. Pull a little bit more. Open it up. Pull it to the side. Okay, we're going to pull it to the side, and we're going to stretch it again. And we're going to try to just get a little bit more tension from there. So trial and error, as John was saying, we just want to continue doing it that way so you get it. I'm going to stretch again. Stretch again. Okay. Let's put it back inside. I know some of you are thinking, well, it's going to pop up. Trust me, as you get more practice on this, it'll get easier. But the first couple of times, it's going to drive you nuts. The spring, you might lose the spring.
Yeah.
It's going to go all over the place. So
I remember that.
Work in an environment where you can find that spring. Please.
Yes, please do that, man.
Not on carpet. It's going to go bye-bye. So you don't want that to happen. Let's go back again. Check.
Zah.
Look at that.
Zah. Right there. Look at that. On the money.
All right. So that's it.
All right.
We're good to go there. We're going to go ahead and tighten this back. Make sure it's completely tight. We're going to open that piece and put it right on top. Thank you, sir. Okay, so remember, we're going to put this on top here, and it says top. It's always pointed up that way, right? You're going to put that on top there, and we're going to pull this out. You're going to pull that out, discard that. You're going to move that a little bit, and then you're going to take your top assembly, and you're going to put your top assembly on top of here with your 4 screws, and just slightly start, maybe about two turns. You just want to get it so it's all lined up. You don't want to do anything too tight because then you're not going to be able to pull out that paper. So a little bit on there, and then you're just going to pull out that paper and then finish up. So we just want to get it right into the hole. All right, start threading it. Pull the paper out.
Very nice.
That's it. I'm going to tighten this down now. And this carb should be completely done. We're just going to pump it, make sure everything is nice. You could hear the sound once you start pumping it so that there's no leaks. And we're going to give it a nice visual to make sure that everything is sitting properly. Okay, and then one more to go on this side. John gave you guys a great advice on with this check valve, putting a sponge on there. You're off-roading. It's great advice. You don't want to get that all clogged up there. So, beautiful. Visual inspection, nice and flush. Look at that. Perfect. Nice. Sounds great.
Nice.
So,
now I'm just going to torque that back here, 65 inch-pounds, and we all good. Let's just say somebody had their engine running good, used, you know, they had their 990 or whatever carburetor tuned to their liking.
Yeah.
If they keep their settings the way it was,
yes.
If they install this,
yes,
most likely it's gonna feel sound slightly on the lean side.
Correct.
Automatically.
Correct.
So we want to open her up a bit. Feed her a little more.
Yes, feed her a little bit more.
All right, and that's gonna be possibly.
Usually it's just the low speed side.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything on
just
the high speed.
Just need to open the low a little bit. The high at full wide open throttle is still the same as before, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Now you're gonna a couple other things. If you're running a car and you give it full throttle and you hear that little bit of hesitation,
like a little bog, is that what you're trying to say?
Yep.
Right. That's because it's lean.
It's exactly.
And it's starving. You need to give it a little bit more of a drink.
And a
little more to. You know what I'm saying? Like us right now over here.
That's it. We're almost empty too, but you know, we're running lean.
Yeah, we're running lean. Exactly.
But a lot of people, the mistake they make is they are running their car lean, and you're going to lose your motor that way.
Yes, they burn up.
Yeah.
Dry them up.
And you're going to learn to listen to the motor as well.
Right.
It tells you everything that's happening.
Yes.
It's almost your own dyno.
Right. You know, get to know your engine, listen to it, get to know what it's supposed to sound like.
Yep.
All that.
Now we race, and those motors that we race, they last a few years, not just one race season.
Wow.
They last probably about 4 to 5 years.
But most guys kill them or have to rebuild them every year because their thing on the lean side is always best, but it's not.
No. These motors need fuel to perform properly.
Right.
And when you limit the fuel, it can't combust.
Correct.
And you need to have proper and adequate fuel, especially on the low speed.
Yeah.
Because remember, your throttle plate is going from a closed position to an open position, and all that air is rushing in, and your car's going to hunt for fuel. So you're going to hear a lot of bogging. Yeah. You want to make sure it has enough fuel. And this part here of the motor is so important. You know, I think that sometimes we don't concentrate on it.
Right.
Even with atomization, you don't want a carb that's polished. You don't. And the reason why...
See, Arnold is not a fan of the polished carb that some of us with rooster tails have.
Yes.
Where is it? This is the 813. Hold on, but this is the... Arnold's not a fan of the polished, but...
I'm not. So here's the reason why.
All right, see this here?
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. A lot of bling. But what happens with fuel and air, you need atomization. And that's when you have disturbance and air and fuel able to hit each other together, it's able to create atomization. And then when it's atomized, it's distributed evenly and properly, it combusts better. And having air that's just not atomizing properly in this smooth, super smooth surface going in, it doesn't help in atomization. So you want a carburetor that has a little bit of texture to it. You don't want it so gritty, but you want it so where the molecules are bouncing around a little bit and they're atomizing together. So that's very important.
Can our velocity stacks be smooth as a baby's ass or no?
Yes, your velocity stack, we're going to talk about that because my son, he does a lot of testing on velocity stacks.
Nice.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. How a velocity stack works. You know, Bartolone has a great velocity stack that just came out that doesn't have all these interruptions here. Look at that. Look at that. The man has it. Look at that. It's in his box.
Yeah.
So velocity stack, what's happening is it's using a venturi, and the venturi is increasing the flow of air going in there. Now, there's tricks that we could do to even make it faster.
Wow.
And we're going to go over that down the road. We're going to talk about how can we do that.
Awesome.
So
stay tuned for that.
We'll do all that together, but I think first this is a great first step that you could do.
Definitely, man. First great step, boys. Get yourself one of these here, man. K3-WYTA. spiral diaphragm, all right? Super great, man. All right, I'm gonna have everything eventually with that. You know, all of these. Now they don't have nothing like. Well, we don't need that. Tillotson don't have that, right? Oh, can we?
We can. The Tillotson diaphragm, on some of the Tillotson diaphragm, especially you have, I think you have one.
I have one on the 50, but
yeah, that might be an H123A. If it is, then yes, we can actually use this on that 123A.
And what about the guys like with the J71s and stuff like that?
No, not yet. You know, there wasn't such a demand for it,
Right.
so WALBRO didn't do anything yet.
Okay.
But down the road, I'm hoping that they have enough demand that they will go ahead and invest the time and energy to make one of these.
All right. And what about some of the guys? I do have a few, not many, with the Scopot 62s that has that weird, funky carburetor.
Which one?
You know what? Let me get the number of that thing. All right, guys. So some of you guys with the Scopot 62,
Not yet.
WALBRO does not have one for this weird style carburetor. All right, it's a big carb, but it's not as big as the 71s. 71 is actually more popular than this one. So
We'll talk to them though. We'll
yeah,
see.
we'll find out. So that's it, man. So we'll call it quits. This is a very awesome video. I had a good time with you here, Arnold.
Oh, my pleasure.